Hey everyone, Joe here, coming at you from yet another interesting location. I'm just at an elementary school. No, it's a secondary school. It's a vocational secondary school. And my friend Lila works in the front office, so I just brought her brownies. And it's Christmas break, and she's here by herself. So I might actually introduce you to her later, because she was Hamilton Pride's Queer of the Year one year. Well, is one of my favorite people. Anyways, I am here today to talk about today's genderqueer chat topic, which is Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And this week's topic is Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed for gay and lesbian individuals in the U.S. military. What does this mean for gender variant people? Have you ever joined, or would you ever consider joining the military in your country? So first off, as a Canadian who gets a lot of American media, I think I shouldn't speak on behalf of all Canadians, but I can speak for myself when I say Don't Ask, Don't Tell was always just one of those what the fuck kind of moments in Canadian. Like, to my mind, I thought, why are there discriminatory laws on the books in a free country? Like, laws that actually, in words, discriminate against a specific segment of the population. It's strange to me. It's very strange to me. Now, I know Canada had a similar law on the books at some point. I think it was repealed in '92, and I know that gays and lesbians and transgender people have been allowed to serve openly in the military for a long time in Canada. So much so that at Gay Pride in Toronto, there's usually a small parade portion that is gay military, like soldiers, and also straight supporters, like straight military folks who are supportive of their gay and lesbian brethren. So I've always been a very proud Canadian on that front. I think the fact that Canada accepts gays and in the military in a way that the U.S. doesn't is kind of cool. That being said, I do have friends who are military, and they are as homophobic as the next guy. I mean, it is an old boys club on so many levels. But it's illegal to discriminate, and so it's kind of interesting that in the U.S. it was legal to discriminate up until recently. So the fact that Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed, very happy about that, but also coupled with the sense of, why didn't this happen years ago? What the hell is wrong with Americans? I mean, really, what the hell is wrong? You know, I'm a big Malcolm Gladwell fan. He's an author who wrote a book called Blink, or he wrote another one called The Tipping Point, and more recently, what was that book called? He was talking about, he's half black. His mother is Jamaican, and his mother immigrated to Canada, to a small town in Canada. I think it was Elora he grew up in, which is outside of Guelph, Ontario, which is way far from Toronto. I mean, it's just a tiny little dot on the map. And his Jamaican mother married a white British man, and they had these two kind of, you know, half-black kids, mixed-race children. And nobody batted an eye in the 50s in Canada that there was a mixed-race family. And Malcolm Gladwell always talked about how Canada has a sense of equality that just doesn't exist in the U.S. insofar as not the average person doesn't really care about race issues or gay issues or things that Americans seem to flip out about. So he was remarking that kind of in a blanket way that there was no racism in Canada, which is not true, but I mean just in his own experience being half black and having that experience. My experience in the military in Canada is that I was an air cadet when I was a teenager, which is like the baby military for little kids. And I'll be honest with you, I only joined it to meet boys because I was boy crazy and I liked military guys at the time, or guys in uniform and all that. I joined, it actually was an amazing experience in my life. It taught me a lot about myself, about discipline, about leadership. It was a huge pivotal moment in my life, and I loved everything about it. And I am still friends with tons of my cadet friends from when I was 15. So, you know, it's just been the military experience that I had was a wonderful one. Now, interestingly, I was just thinking back to the kinds of people that joined the cadets. And cadets is, again, for kids, it's not really the same thing. But a lot of my girlfriends that were in cadets, and me as well, were kind of gender variant. I mean, we were kind of butchy, and there was room for a lot of butchy women in cadets. And when I know a lot of people in the military in Canada, and it seems to be shockingly accepting of a butchy type of woman. Now, I cannot speak on behalf of a femme type of man. I can only speak on behalf of a butchy type of woman. It is kind of a comfortable work environment for a butchy kind of woman, because there is an acceptance of rank that outstrips gender. So you have to respect your, you know, the higher ranks in ways that that kind of trump gendered, and it's kind of comforting. You can be, you know, a woman, a gender variant woman in the military, and it's kind of okay. It's now I don't know because I'm not in it. I don't know about the don't ask, don't tell portion of it. Like if you talk, for instance, can you be a dykey looking or a butch woman and be perfectly accepted by your peers in the military? But if you started to talk about your girlfriend or your wife at home, if things would change, I don't know the answer to that question. Don't ask, don't tell. What does this mean for gender variant people? Well, again, don't ask, don't tell is specifically slotted towards gays. And I think one of the other people was saying transgendered people are still under that umbrella of mental disorders or whatever, where transgendered people are under the umbrella that they are not allowed to serve in the military still. I know Canadian military does allow transgendered. Chris put the link on his video a couple days ago. I love those links, by the way. Go check them out, about Canadian trans people in the military. I didn't even know that, and I'm very proud to be Canadian. Like, not only does Canada allow transgendered people in the military, it pays for their surgeries, pays for their meds, and as an employer, your employer, which is your supervisor or your higher ranking officers in your unit, have to refer to you by your new gender. Now, the one thing was they will not go back and change your name or your gender on previous. So if you've won an award or you've been raised a rank previously, they won't go back because they won't rewrite history. And part of me agrees with that anyway, because I've always had a problem with women who change their names after they get married, and then all of a sudden you get a new birth certificate issued with your husband's name on it. I find that very unsavory. I think that's weird. You were born a certain person. That was your name on your birth certificate because you were born that way. And if you've changed it, I don't think you should necessarily go rewrite history. I think that is a little bit weird. So, would I ever consider joining the military now? No. For one thing, Canada is at war in Afghanistan, and I really disagree with war. I'm an extreme peacenik. Up until the Afghanistan situation, I always believed that the Canadian military was very peacekeeping. Canada is known for having a peacekeeping military that, we've Rwanda. I think go and watch a movie called Hotel Rwanda, or read about the Rwandan genocide. There was Romeo Dallaire was the military official's name. He was a Canadian fellow. It was really interesting history about the things Canadians have done militarily. As soon as it went from peacekeeping to war, I shut down. I'm not into that. I'm not into any country that pulls a trigger for the purposes of whatever oppression. I'm not into that. So I could never, it's interesting because I did consider joining the military when I graduated from computer science. I was, it was about economy, and it's a good job. It's a very good job. It's good benefits. I like the military life because I kind of like discipline and order, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, like my religion video. I have kind of a militaristic way of thinking sometimes. Suits me. Military life probably would suit me in a lot of ways. I think I would be accepted. I really do think that I, in my gender variant way, would be accepted more in a military environment than I would be in this current environment. But I can't abide by war, so I would never join. That's really the only reason. Okay, I'm going to see if I can video Lila, get her opinion on this, just because she's a good time. And we'll see. And if not, I'll end this video here, so take it easy. Bye-bye.